Hi, hello. This is a unorthodox video. There is no fun fact today. However, this is my June check-in for my no-buy year, and I'm doing it in the manner of a get ready with me because, as I'm about to explain, I have literally no time. Without any further ado, let's get it. Roll the intro. I really hope I'm like in frame. I don't really know what's going on. I also hope there's adequate lighting. It's very early in the morning and I'm sitting on the floor in my living room just next to the largest window hoping that enough light is creeping in. Y'all know the drill with these get ready with me's. I will put everything I'm using down in the description box below. But also, it's not really about that. It's more about me just being able to talk and the fact that I have no time, space, energy, etc. to be able to get ready, film, and then do everything that I need to do. So let's just get on with the check-in, shall we? So first off, as you may have noticed, I did not upload a video on the last 2 Mondays, and that's because I burned out, basically. That's the best way to sort of put it. I burned out. Looking back now, I realize I had way too much on my plate, and it was actually a little bit scary because the thing is, I've been depressed in my life before. Like those of you who've been following my mental health on this channel, y'all know that. There's always, even in the darkest parts of my depression, been some part of me that has been like, hey, you should be getting yourself together. The fact that you messed this up or didn't turn a thing in or whatever is like not okay, it's not acceptable. And burnout was a fascinating experience because for the very first time in my life, I could not bring myself to care. And let's rewind a little bit. So I had a time period during which I had 2 exams and a paper all within 48 hours of each other. And this was 1 week before my mother's wedding, 2 weeks before my LSAT, which is on Monday, July 15th. Because all of my deadlines were stacking up, because I had so much to do in pretty much every single arena of my life, what ended up essentially happening is I went weeks where I was sleeping maybe 4 to 5 hours in a day and saying that that was enough. And then midway through June, I had an exam at 7 p.m. on a Thursday night, another exam at 9 a.m. Friday morning, and then a 12-page paper due by midnight that Friday night. And so on top of these weeks of sleeplessness, I spent 4 days without going to sleep, which is to say I spent 4 days where the only sleep I got or allowed myself to get were a couple of 20-minute naps. And I somehow managed to write my History of Hong Kong exam on that Thursday. I somehow managed to write my stats exam that Friday. And I even managed to somehow come home after that exam and bust my ass on the paper. And at 10:50 at night, the paper was due at 11:59. It hit me that I was not going to finish this paper on time, and that this was the last possible day on which I was able to submit it because grades were due the very next day. And I had already asked for an extension, and that this was in fact the last day on which I could submit it with the extension, and that I wasn't going to make it. And this is where we go back to what I was saying earlier, which is, oh my god, I should be getting ready. What am I doing with my life? But at every other moment in my life where I have been in a mode of crisis like this, even as depressed as I have been, as unmotivated as I have been, as whatever as I've been, I've always just kind of been able to be like, hey, don't give up. Keep going, figure out what all you need to do. It's like not over. You really need to get it together. Just push through whatever one last time. And this time, I was so exhausted, I couldn't bring myself to care. And that was horrifying in retrospect because I've never had my mood be that bad. And also because in the context of the class for which this paper was due, the paper was worth 50% of my grade. Not turning it in meant an automatic fail. And not only that, but in every other aspect of the class, I did really well. The very first paper, which was worth 10% of my grade, I got an 80% on after I turned it in 3 days late and had 15% deducted, which meant I actually got a 95 on that paper that got deducted down to an 80. As for the final exam for that class, which was a mixture of essays and short answer questions, I got a 91. I was doing really well in this class, but that essay and the essay interview accompanying it was worth 50% of my grade. And I realized there was no way I was going to turn it in. And instead of freaking out and getting in action and figuring out what to do, I was so exhausted. I could not bring myself to care. A couple of days later, the final grades came out. I got a 44 in that class. I failed. I got an F. And I sat there looking at that 44, and I still could not bring myself to care. And that's when I kind of knew something was wrong. Because at every other moment in my life, I've always been able to bring myself to care. And I was just so exhausted and numb that I just didn't have it in me anymore to give a damn that I had failed. Which for anyone who knows me is very, very unlike me. And on that very same day, to sort of soothe myself, I started watching a couple YouTube videos, and I was watching this one ladylike video where they were discussing digital burnout because of this book I had been reading like a month or so back called Digital Minimalism. And they had conducted an experiment where they were trying to spend X amount of time just away from their phones. And so I was watching their video to sort of get a little bit of context on that project. And the very next video in the recommended section, like the autoplay next video on YouTube, was the Try Guys video where they discuss burnout. They bring on Katie Morton, who discusses what the symptoms of burnout are. And I just remembered having this acute feeling where right after this jarring experience of seeing that I had failed a course for the first time in years. The last time I failed a course I think was like 2015. So after what should have been like a very jarring and traumatic experience, still feeling numb and tired, to then listen to Katie Morton and the Try Guys list out the symptoms of burnout and what causes them, and to realize every single last one of them applied to me. Because I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't exercising, I wasn't taking care of myself, I felt numb and exhausted and irritable, and I just hated everything about my life. And I just felt so much like resentment and frustration that had just given away to numbness. You know, I named the thing. And on the one hand, it was very relieving to have a name for it. On the other hand, the solutions that the ladies at Ladylike and the Try Guys had posited were just not possible for me. I would love to tell you that I discovered that I was really burned out like a week and a half ago, and that I made some radical changes in my life and I was able to take a 1-week vacation, and that now I'm back and I'm better than ever. Like I would love to give you that happy ending, because on a certain level it annoys me when things don't have happy endings, when videos don't have neat resolutions, when my check-in isn't about having solved a problem. Because here's the thing, my March check-in was raw and vulnerable and I was crying, but it also featured April me, who had her shit together. At least a lot more than March check-in Prachi did. More than that, that video ended on a hopeful note. Did I just scratch myself on my... Yeah, I did. Just scratched myself and now it looks like I have a rash. Whatever. More than that, that March check-in ended on a hopeful note. I cried my shit out, but then I resolved it, and then I knew what I was doing. I don't have that for you this time. I don't have that for myself. And that's in large part why I've been avoiding the camera. I mean, let's be real. A large part of it is just that I've been exhausted. That Natasha Denona video was shot so long ago, and I think if you saw the video before it, where I was trying out the new K-beauty products and talking a little bit towards the end, I think some of you may have already begun to see the writing on the wall. You may have begun to see how tired I was feeling even at that point several weeks ago. And that was me putting on a brave face. Shit, me talking here right now is still me putting on a brave face. I'm wearing this makeup because I have stuff to do and because I feel as though I owe you an explanation for why I just pieced out for 2 weeks. And I'm also doing this for my own posterity. I don't just want to be documenting the good moments of my Nova year or of my life in general. I also want to be able to document the shit moment where it's like I actually don't have anything figured out and I am a work in progress, because I think that's a good reminder for myself. I expect myself to be so perfect all the time, and to remind myself that no, I'm a person and I don't know shit. Because not only am I a person, I'm actually a relatively young person. I'm 25. I think that's helpful for myself and hopefully for everyone else out there as well, because I'm about to give you this totally open-ended video where I don't have any solutions for whatever the hell is going on, because the fact is every solution for burnout that I've seen has said, oh, you have to like take time off and take a vacation. And I'm like, I don't have the luxury to do that. And I don't know that most people do. It seems like a lot of the YouTube videos on burnout, people just take like a 2-week vacation or a 1-week vacation or whatever. And it's like, I can't do that. When I had that realization that I was really burned out, it was like a few days before I had to leave for my mother's wedding. My LSAT has already been booked. I'm writing it. Today is Wednesday. I'm writing it on Monday. My 2 summer courses for the second half of summer have already started, and I've already paid for all of that. I don't have the luxury financially or even just in terms of time to just peace out for 2 weeks and figure everything out. I have to go to my mom's wedding, and it's not going to be a holiday, and it's not going to be a fun time because I'm not attending a wedding. I am part of a wedding. I am helping to organize it. And so that's not going to be time off. And I had that realization, right? And like now here we are, and it's been a couple of days since I got back from my mom's wedding, and I was perfectly right. I did not have a moment's rest that entire weekend. I slept at most 4.5 hours every single day, right? Like that was not a respite. It was work. And I got back on Sunday afternoon from the weekend of my mom's wedding, and I got back at 4 p.m. and do you know what I did? I wrote a practice LSAT, and then I graded it, and then I started doing my readings for my summer courses. Like, there's no time to stop. I don't have the luxury to stop. I don't have the luxury to reschedule my LSAT. That shit costs like over $200. Like, I can't waste that money. And so all of the solutions I saw online, they don't work for me. They don't work for my lifestyle. They're not feasible for everything that I already have on my plate. Like, I wish I could tell you that I had sorted my shit out and that I'm coming to you with solutions and not problems, but the reality is I'm filming this at 6:32 in the morning, and I only slept 4.5 hours last night. And when I am done filming this video, I'm going to start doing my readings for a short essay that's due tomorrow. The good thing is then I'm going to leave to go to see a therapist. And I haven't been to therapy in a while, mostly because my old therapist like moved away, and I have so not prioritized my own health that I have told myself it's okay that I haven't been in therapy and that I haven't prioritized finding a new therapist. When I realized that I was burned out last week and that that's what this was, the one thing that I did do for myself is I set up an appointment with a new therapist to try it out because I'm at a loss and I don't know what to do. And in the past, I think I would have wallowed for a lot longer than I did. I guess this is like the wisdom of age and experience. In the past, I would have made myself really wrong and bad and just wallowed in that wrongness and that badness. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I've still made myself wrong and bad because the overwhelming feeling I have had, oh God, I cannot get emotional. I'm supposed to be getting ready. If I cry right now, this is not going to work. But the overwhelming feeling that I have had since I had that breakdown and I just like couldn't turn in the paper is like, Prachi, you're so pathetic. Like, you just had 2.5 weeks to go. In 2.5 weeks, if you could have just held it together and been strong for 2.5 more weeks, instead of just crapping out like the pathetic little weakling that you are, none of this would have happened. Like, you're sad and weak and you can't cut it. That's the conversation I'm having with myself inside my head. And intellectually, I know that that's a terrible conversation to have, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm so angry at myself for not having been able to make it. And realistically, I know that like, I don't think anybody could have made it. I don't think anybody could have been doing everything that I was doing. Intellectually, I know that. I think I had too much on my plate and not enough hours in a day. And intellectually, I know that going weeks and weeks onto months of not sleeping more than like 4 to 5 hours a day and then spending 4 days just not sleeping at all except for 3 25-minute naps. I know that my health was supposed to have collapsed, and yet I cannot forgive myself for that. But I know intellectually enough that it's, even if I don't feel like it's not my fault, even if I feel like it is my fault, intellectually I know it's not my fault. And so I have reached out, and today at like 10, I will be going to see my therapist, my new therapist, who hopefully can work well with me And I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know how I'm supposed to get out of this. I don't know how I'm supposed to move forward and deal with my stress in a healthy manner, or what I'm supposed to do, or how I'm supposed to have conversations with people to let them know that I am burned out and I need to scale back what it is I'm doing. I don't know how to do any of that, but my hope is, because I have reached out to a therapist, that she will help me and that I won't be sitting here alone just like stewing in everything, and that instead she will be able to guide me and help me better manage this shit. Because I need to figure out how to deal with my burnout without having the luxury of taking time off, like a solid vacation or going anywhere. I need to figure out how it is I can manage this while still meeting all of my obligations. And I don't know how to do that. I am at a loss. I have no solutions for any of you. If any of y'all are going through this, I'm sorry. I got nothing. So that's been my June. But that's where I am right now. Like, we're not doing well, lads. We are not flourishing. But my hope is that it will get better, and that I have people around me to get better. And I cannot get emotional right now. This is about to F everything up if I did all of this makeup only for it all to be ruined. But I also did just want to take a moment to thank one of my subscribers, Helen, who on my most recent video, when I hadn't uploaded for a while, when I like missed my regular upload, you actually checked in on me. And I didn't have the bandwidth or the heart or the pride, because I was really like ashamed of myself. Ironic, because it's Pride Month and I'm not straight, but I felt a lot of shame and I like didn't respond to you. But I wanted to let you know that your comment came in at a good time, which is to say it came in at a time when I needed it. And thank you for checking in. Yo, I really need to not be crying right now. I did not powder under my eyes for then it all to be ruined because I'm like emotional and weepy. Honestly, it's like a miracle I'm even emotional. I'm supposing this is a mark of progress, because before I was too numb to even be emotional. So, you know, baby steps or whatever. But yeah, so it's July, I feel like today's July 10th. Yeah, it's July 10th. It's Wednesday, July 10th. And this is my June check-in. It's very late. I don't even know when I'll be able to upload this. I'm going to upload this with very minimal edits because I just don't have time, because on the 15th I'm writing my LSAT. And so I guess I also need to let y'all know that like on Monday the 15th, I will not be uploading a video, because at the time that I would usually be uploading a video, I will be writing my actual LSAT. However, post my LSAT, I will actually shoot like a hits and misses video, and then also like a separate empties, because somehow I have like finished a whole bunch of products throughout the month of June. And I suppose this is a good segue as any for me to transition from talking about my own personal life and burnout to the makeup no-buy. And that's to say that I have barely had the time, space, and energy to take care of myself. And so honestly, I haven't even had the room to think about makeup. The weekend of my mom's wedding, so from like Thursday to Sunday, it was the first time in a while that I had gotten myself together to be wearing makeup every single day. And I had to do my mom's makeup for all of her functions. And I actually felt like I was a little bit out of practice because I hadn't done my own makeup in a while. So that's sort of where we are. Like, I wasn't really tempted to buy anything, but that's because there was no room in my brain to even think about getting anything. I was not all the way there for a lot of June. I'm not particularly proud of that, but it is what it is, right? Like, and I think it would be dishonest for me to sit here and try and smile and be like, everything's great and I'm doing amazing and like I'm writing my LSAT, because I was tempted to do that. Actually, I was tempted like 2 weeks ago when I was supposed to put out a video to sit down and do what I have done in every other moment of my life before now, which is pretend that I'm okay and that everything's fine. I was ready to just like smile really broadly at the camera and with expertly faked sincerity talk about all of my June favorites and all of the empties that I'd collected, and being like, you know, my mom's wedding is coming up and I'm so excited, and you know, my LSAT's like a week after that and I can't wait for it, and yeah, I'm a little bit stressed out, but not too much, you know. It's like a good kind of a stress. It's like a handleable kind of a stress. Like, the urge to do that was there. The urge to do what I've always done, which is look people dead in the eye and lie through my teeth and say that I'm fine and I can handle it and like everything's good. I started filming a video like that, and then I didn't have the heart to do it. And so this is what you're getting instead. Teary-eyed me, really early in the morning. I don't even know what the lighting is. I don't even know if I'm centered in the frame. This makeup look, absolute trash, but I can't find my eyebrow pencil because that is the state we are currently living in. This is the realness, lads. This is burnt out me, still kind of in the middle of being burnt out. Much in the same way that I could not care less about the fact that I failed my class. There is a part of me that, and this seems really terrible to say because y'all are taking time out of your day to watch this, and obviously I've taken time to film this, but there's a part of me that also doesn't give a damn that this video is not being uploaded on a Monday, and that this may not have been the content that you signed up for, or that even I had intended to give, because I'm still exhausted and still just trudging along. Sorry if that's bleak, but I'm gonna put on my eyeliner now. Okay, I put on some black eyeliner off camera because my battery ran out, because that is where we are right now. I'm not gonna put on any mascara because the fact that I got really emotional just now, this is the first time I've been talking openly about the fact that I'm really burnt out to anybody. And there's not even a person here, and yet I got really emotional. And so I think my instinct says that if I really let myself talk to that therapist, I'm gonna get emotional and start crying. And I don't want to do that with mascara on because I don't have waterproof mascara. So I'm just not going to put any mascara on because that would just be an unnecessary mess for me to then later have to clean up. You know, let me stop being such a Debbie Downer and say that I don't know how I feel about this lip color. Please be honest in your comments below about whether this is a decent lip color or whether it's like too bright for me or what is happening, because orange lipstick and I have a fraught relationship and I don't know if it's flattering or not. I think maybe I will put just like one swipe of mascara. I hope this decision does not bite me in the butt, to get rid of like the powdery brownness, because I put brown eyeshadow over my eyeliner. I think I'm just gonna throw on some setting spray if I can find it. I'm so sorry for, no I'm not. I need to stop apologizing. This check-in is what it is. I am a work in progress. Not every check-in is going to be bright and happy and bubbly. That's not how life works. Life isn't on some sort of pre-planned calendar where it's like, yeah, by the 30th or 31st of every single month, you have everything that happened in that previous month figured out. I don't have everything that happened in June figured out, but this is it. Like, this is the mess that is life. My hope is that by the time I next film something, which will be post my LSAT, oh, I have henna on my hands for my mom's wedding, by the way, I will be in a better mood. One, because the stress of the LSAT will have been taken off of me, and two, because I will have attended therapy and I will hopefully have just felt better talking about everything that's been going on with another person more in depth than I have done so with all of you. But I'm not going to promise that because I don't know necessarily that that's going to happen. I can't guarantee that I'm going to be feeling a lot better by next week, because it took weeks and months for me to get to this state. And if I expect myself to suddenly be miraculously better in a week, then I'm setting myself up for failure. I will say that I'm genuinely very happy to be back. Creating videos for this channel is like a hobby for me, right? This is a thing I actually genuinely enjoy doing, and I haven't really let myself do it for the past couple of weeks. I've been sort of punishing myself and telling myself that there's no time to do anything except for work and study. There's been no time for sleeping, for food, for exercising, for any hobbies, for meeting my friends, just none of that. And so doing this, like being back in front of the camera again, I'm gonna log on to YouTube and see all of your comments and give them hearts and everything. That is something which I do feel good about. I feel happy about that. And as stressful as my mom's wedding was, I am very happy that she got married, and I'm also very happy that I was given a chance to hang out with some of the people there who I haven't seen in a very long time. Because I think the general theme around mental health, and I'm only going to speak for myself, is I have a tendency to really want to isolate myself. And to be able to overcome that and to actually reach out to people and talk to people and recognize that, you know, you're not alone, and that even if I don't know shit about what I'm supposed to do next, I'm not alone. and there are people who will help me figure it out, whether it be people within my own family or my friend circle, or even y'all down in the comments, or like professional help like the therapist I'm about to go see today and my doctor. It's helpful to know that there are people around me who care and who have my back. And the wedding was a good reminder of that. So as stressful as it was, and as much as it totally was not a break, not like a restorative break that would have sort of helped me recover from burnout, it was a good thing. And I suppose that's as good a segue as any to my usual sign off. I'm off to go study and then go to therapy and hopefully sort a bit of my life out. But as always, I hope you have a great upcoming week. And even if that upcoming week is messy and imperfect, I hope that you're still able to create and experience some truly beautiful moments. Bye. But you gotta be there for me too.